After a hard-fought win on Monday, the Wildcats are back in action and looking to keep their season alive and reach the district championship. Standing in their way is a game Lisbon team that has already pulled off one upset this season, with the Wildcats looking to ensure they don't make it a second. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's presentation of Wildcat Basketball on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page and the NFHS Network. I'm David Warrington. It's the Lions and the Wildcats tonight with a spot in the district championship up for grabs. And before we get started tonight, I have to give a shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Bank is a proud supporter of Central City Wildcat sports. At Heartland Bank, we recognize more than ever the need to support local customers and organizations in our communities. As your community bank, we're here for you. So 24 hours later than originally planned, we are here in Central City. It is the Lisbon Lions and your Central City Wildcats in the district semifinals. Winner moves a step closer to Des Moines. Winner will play in the district championship game on Tuesday. I've been told that will be at Starmont High School. That will be the neutral site against either Wapsie Valley or Nashua Plainfield. And the winner of that game moves on to next Saturday's Sub-State Championship, where you try to earn your way to Des Moines. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's teams. First up, your Central City Wildcats. They come in 14-9 on the season, finished 9-5 in the Tri-Rivers West. They got the win on Monday over Central Cater in the district quarterfinals here in Central City. 71-66 was the final. Assistant coach for the Wildcats is John McGovern. Central City's head coach in his first season is Ryan Turner. During his time with the Wildcats, Coach Turner with a record of 14 wins and 9 losses. Some players to watch for Central City. Starts with Makai Benton, the 6'3 junior, averaging 15 points per a ball game, nearly 7 rebounds to lead the team, 1.5 assists, a steal, and half a block. Other than Makai, certainly got to watch out for the Closerman brothers. First up is the sophomore point guard Matthew, leading the team at 15.1 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, second best in the Tri-Rivers West, and a team-leading 2 steals. And Matthew's older brother is the shooting guard, the junior Aiden Closerman, 10.5 points per game, better than 40% from 3, nearly 90% from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal for Aiden Closerman. Now taking a look at tonight's guest, the Lisbon Lions. They come into this game with a record of 10 wins and 12 losses on the season. They finished 5-7 in the Tri-Rivers East, and they won their district quarterfinal on Monday. They went to Clayton Ridge and upset the third-seeded Clayton Ridge Eagles by a final of 46-36. Assistant coach for the Lions is Ian Boleen. Lisbon's head coach in his first season is Levi Montague. During his time with the Lions, Coach Montague, with a record of 10 wins and 12 losses, is a meeting of a pair of first-year head coaches here this evening. Looking at the players to watch for Lisbon, it starts with Michael Gadberry, the 5'10 junior, averaging a conference-leading 18.5 points per game. That is best in the Tri-Rivers East this season. 3.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and nearly 2 steals. Other players to watch is Luke Sarnecki, a 6'4 senior, averaging nearly 11.5 points per game. 9 rebounds per game as well. That was best in the conference. Not quite 1 assist and not quite 1 steal. The final player to watch will actually be coming off the bench this evening. That is Grayson Woolham, a 6'5 sophomore. 8 points and nearly 6 rebounds per game for him, alongside 1 assist and 1 block. He is 4th in the Tri-Rivers East in blocked shots per game. Looking at the series history, since 2006, Lisbon leads the series 11 games to 3, and they won 9 straight. Up until the last meeting, which Central City did win, teams haven't played since December 10th of 2019, back in my senior year, in fact. Wildcats went to Lisbon and ran away with the victory by a final of 62-35 in the East versus West Tri-Rivers matchup. Last time these two teams met was in the 2019-20 season. The current seniors were freshmen at that time. So we are about 6 minutes away from tip-off here, but before that we will, of course, meet the starters and sing the anthem. But while we've got some time, let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket and how things have shaped out so far. We'll start with District 5. That is the district that we share a sub-state with. We are in District 6. Monday's quarterfinals saw no upsets in District 5. Same wasn't true for 6, but we'll start with 5. 8-seed Edgewood Colesburg went to Northland, the number 1 seed, and lost 103-24. The 5-seed Tripola was at 4-seed South Winneshiek and fell 72-63. 7-seed Clarksville went to Delhi, took on 2-seed Maquoketa Valley and fell 65-36. And the 6-seed East Buchanan went to 3-seed Turkey Valley. Turkey Valley winning that one 48-45. Those semifinal games tonight. 4-seed South Winneshiek at 1-seed Northland, or my apologies, that game actually took place last night with Northland running away with it. And then we've got 3-seed Turkey Valley at 2-seed Maquoketa Valley. In District 6 tonight, or Monday night I should say, in the quarterfinals, the 8-seed Key nearly pulled off an upset over Wapsie Valley, the top seed. They were leading by 10 after a quarter, but Wapsie figured it out in the second half and won it 83-63. The 5-seed Nashua Plainfield upset 4-seed Waterloo Christian, a modest upset, but an upset nonetheless, by a final of 80-63. Wasn't even close over there in Waterloo. 7-seed Central Cater came here to Central City, where your 2nd-seeded Wildcats held on to win it 71-66. And our opponent tonight, the 6-seeded Lisbon Lions, went to the 3-seed Clayton Rich and pulled off the biggest upset of this bracket so far, winning that one by a final of 46-36. So tonight's semifinals are 5-seed Nashua Plainfield at 1-seed Wapsie Valley and 6-seed Lisbon at your 2nd-seeded Central City Wildcats. District championships for this bracket will be on Tuesday at neutral sites. I have been told, as I said, that the neutral site for Central City, if they were to win and play on Tuesday, is Starmont High School over in Arlington, some 45 minutes away from here. And then the sub-state championship for the 2 district champions to try to earn a place at state in Des Moines is going to be on the 25th. That is Saturday, a week from tomorrow. And again, that will be a neutral site. So with all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's starting lineups for this matchup. We will start with your Central City Wildcats, as they do have one player back we'll get to at the end of these starters. First up is the point guard Matthew Klosterman, 5'10 sophomore, leading the way with 15 points per game, adds 5.5 rebounds, team leading 4.5 assists. Also leads the way on the team with 2 steals. Matthew's brother Aiden starts at a shooting guard. Aiden Klosterman, the 5'10 junior, averaging 10.5 points per game, adds in 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Aiden also shoots at 40% from beyond the three-point line, and he is nearly 90% from the free throw line. That is 3rd best in Class 1A. Also in the starting 5 at a forward is Makai Benton, the 6'3 junior, averaging 15 points per game. Team leader in rebounds at 6.8, 1.5 assists, a steal, and half a block for Makai Benton. Also in the starting 5, Braden Rickles, a 6'1 senior, averaging 5.5 points per game, 3 rebounds, an assist, and not quite 1 steal. And rounding out the starting 5, making his return after missing several games, is the man in the middle. That would be Marcus Shellhorn, the 6'4 senior, averaging 4 points per game, 5 rebounds, half an assist, 1.5 steals, and half a block. That is 5th best in the Tri-Rivers West. Great to have Marcus back on the floor tonight because of the size that this Lisbon team brings. And speaking of Lisbon, here are the starting 5 for tonight's visitors, the Lisbon Lions. First off, at a guard is Cohen Camus, a 5'10 senior, averaging not quite 4 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and a steal. He is shooting nearly 42% from beyond the three-point line. At another guard is Michael Gadberry, the 5'10 junior, leading the way in the Tri-Rivers East with 18.5 points per game. Adds in 3.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 3rd best in the conference, and not quite 2 steals to lead the team in that department as well. Another guard is Mason Leamer, a 5'9 junior, 2 points per game for him. Just his 8th start of the season here tonight. 2 rebounds, an assist, and half a steal. At a forward is Luke Sarnecki, the big 6'4 senior, very athletic young man, can quite easily get up and dunk the basketball when he has an opportunity. 11.5 points per game for him, over 9 rebounds, best in the conference in that department. Half an assist, not quite 1 steal, and half a block. And rounding out the starting 5 is Dalen Schaefer, a big 6'4 sophomore that has only played in 14 games this year, but he started 10 of them. I'm assuming he missed some time with some sort of injury problem. Schaefer averaging 7.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1 block. Really filling up that stat sheet is the sophomore. And that is how the Lisbon Lions will start when they come on the floor here tonight, as we are about a minute 15 seconds away from meeting tonight's starting lineup. As Lisbon makes their way over to the bench first, and we are just about set to go. First meeting since 2019 between these two teams. They are both in the Tri-Rivers, but we are in the West, Lisbon in the East, so you don't play every year, you play every couple of years or however it works out. Just so turns out we haven't played them in a regular season or any competition for that matter since 2019. That changes tonight as we get set for this matchup. Winner moves on to Tuesday's district championship game at Starmont, I have been told. And the loser of this one will end their season in this winner-go-home playoff atmosphere. We are just about set to meet tonight's starting lineups between the Lions and the Wildcats. Jason McLaughlin, the public address announcer here tonight. Of course, Central City's principal. And now here are the starting lineups for tonight's game. First for the Lions, a 5'10 senior, number 2, Cohen Camus. A 5'10 junior, number 4, Michael Gadberry. A 5'9 junior, number 21, Mason Leamer. A 6'4" senior, number 22, Luke Sarnecki. And a 6'4" sophomore, number 33, Dalen Schaefer. Assistant coach for the Lions is Ian Boleen. Lisbon's head coach is Levi Montague. Now for your Central City Wildcats, a 5'10" sophomore, number 1, Matthew Klosterman. A 5'10" junior, number 10, Aiden Klosterman. A 6'3" junior, number 23, Makai Benton. A 6'1" senior, number 30, Braden Rickles. And a 6'4" senior, number 34, Marcus Shellhorn. Assistant coach for the Wildcats is John McGovern. First-year head coach is Ryan Turner. At this time, we will step aside for the playing of our national anthem, after which we'll be set for the opening tip-off. Starters have been introduced. The anthem has been performed. All that is left is to play the game. One more time, your starting 5 for both sides. For the Wildcats, Klosterman, Benton, Rickles, and Shellhorn. And for Lisbon, Camus, Gadberry, Lemur, Sarnecki, and Schaefer. Lions wearing their traveling red uniforms, lines across the chest in black numerals with white and black trim down the sides and on the shoulders. Central City wearing their home whites, Wildcats across the chest in black numerals with red and black trim on the shoulders and down the sides. Marcus Shellhorn will jump center for Central City alongside Luke Sarnecki for Lisbon. As we've got 8 minutes on the clock and we are just about set to go, waiting on the officials to take the floor. And we will be ready to go for district semifinal basketball here from Central City. Winner likely gets a date with Wapsie Valley on Tuesday, and the loser will end their season here tonight in Central City. Referees now making their way onto the floor. Shellhorn and Sarnecki await in the center circle. Wildcats will work left to right to begin the ball game. Lions working right to left. As we wait on the ready to play, I believe we are waiting for it to turn to exactly 7 o'clock, which is the allotted start time for tonight's game. Currently have 6:59. Other than that, we are set to go. And we now have the all clear. We are set to go. Lions and the Wildcats for a spot in the district championship coming up on Tuesday. Ball is in the air. Opening tap controlled by Central City, and we're underway. Matthew Klosterman bringing it up, working left to right, crosses the timeline. Lions starting his own defense. Aiden Klosterman has it on the left wing. Has it top of the key now, gives it over to Matthew Klosterman, left corner. Steps back, puts up a three-pointer. He puts it in. Matthew Klosterman starts it off well with a 3 from the left wing, and the Wildcats lead 3-0 20 seconds in. For the Lions, this is Gadberry with the basketball, over to Schaefer on the right wing, picks up his dribble. Gets it out to Camus, can't track it down. He can, in fact, but throws it away to Makai Benton. Benton up ahead to Matthew Klosterman. Has it at the top of the key. Goes between his legs, reading the offense. Now gives it over to Aiden Klosterman on the right wing. Aiden dribbling right, over to Matthew Klosterman in the right corner. Thought about a 3, over to Aiden, now top of the key to Rickles. Short corner to Marcus Shellhorn. Inside, Makai Benton goes up, but he can't get it to go, and it's rebounded by Sarnecki. Camus bringing it up the floor for Lisbon. Gets it over to Gadberry on the left wing. Giving him some space. He's their leading scorer, but it's taken away. Matthew Klosterman on the steal. It's a one-on-one matchup at the rim. Lays it up, and he puts it in. Matthew Klosterman with 5 quick ones. It's 5-0 Wildcats. A minute gone in the ball game. Gadberry bringing it up for the Lions. Goes inside. Dumped down to Sarnecki. He finds Schaefer out for a three-pointer. That's going to be off the mark. Hits the support up on top of the basket. Good eye by the officials to call the play dead. And it goes back to Central City. A minute 15 gone in the opening quarter. 5-0 Wildcats here in Central City. All 5 points scored by Matthew Klosterman so far as Matthew crosses the timeline into the front court. He has it on the right wing now. Goes to the corner to Aiden Klosterman. Aiden looking around. Gets it out to Makai Benton, top of the key. Over to Matthew Klosterman, left corner. Goes baseline, but they're going to get him for a travel. Shuffle the feet. It is a turnover back to Lisbon. 90 seconds gone. 5-0 Wildcats over the Lisbon Lions. Cohen Camus will throw it in for Lisbon. Does so to Michael Gadberry. He's working right to left and crosses the timeline. Marcus Shellhorn playing the top of this zone defense as Gadberry swings it over to Schaefer in the left corner. Goes baseline, gets downhill, kicks it out. Gadberry left alone for a straight-on triple, and he puts it in. Michael Gadberry starts the scoring for Lisbon. It's 5-3 Central City, nearly 2 minutes gone in the game. Matthew Klosterman into the front court, has it on the right wing. Goes over to Braden Rickles, top of the key. Aiden Klosterman, left wing. Thought about a triple. Now gives it over to Matthew. Matthew, deep three-pointer on the way. That's just off the mark. Looked like it had a chance, but did not take that friendly roll and is rebounded by the Lions. Gadberry into the front court for Lisbon. Has it right wing. Benton giving him some pressure, and they're going to get Makai for the foul, as that will be the first foul of the game on either side. Therefore, of course, is Makai's first. 5-3 Central City our score. 5:45 remaining in the opening quarter. Camus inbounds to Gadberry, right wing. Kicks it out. Three-pointer from Leamer on the way. That is good. Leamer nearly touches the ceiling with the arc on that three-pointer, but he puts it in, and the Lions lead 6-5, their first lead of the game. Nearly 90 seconds gone here in the opening quarter. Aiden Klosterman goes inside to Marcus Shellhorn at the free throw line. Gets it over to Braden Rickles. Now Aiden Klosterman left alone for a three-pointer. He puts it in. Aiden Klosterman knocks down a right wing triple. His first basket of the game, and the Wildcats lead 8-6. Gadberry has it for Lisbon. Goes into the corner to Schaefer. Gets baseline. Driving in. Braden Rickles takes the charge. It's an offensive foul called on Dalen Schaefer. His first, Lisbon's first. And the Wildcats get the basketball back. 5:15 to go in the opening quarter. 8-6 Central City is our score. Matthew Klosterman with 5. Aiden Klosterman with 3 for the Wildcats. Matthew walking it up here for Central City. Crosses into the front court. He has it on the right wing. Picks it up over to Aiden Klosterman. Fakes the three. Gets Sarnecki in the air. Now back to Matthew Klosterman. Short corner, but it's taken away. Was looking for Marcus Shellhorn, but it's stolen by Schaefer. Camus into the front court for Lisbon. Has the top of the key. Over to Schaefer on the left wing. He's driving inside. Tries to find Sarnecki, but it's taken away. Aiden Klosterman secures the steal for Central City. Matthew Klosterman into the front court for the Wildcats. Over to Marcus Shellhorn in the right corner. Inside to Benton. He's double-teamed in there. Kicks it out over to Aiden Klosterman. As the left wing, did not take the three. Dumps it down to Braden Rickles, short corner, driving in. Tries to find Marcus Shellhorn, but the pass wasn't there, and it's taken away. Way down the floor. Gadberry's down there. He throws it up, and he puts it in. Michael Gadberry with his second bucket of the game. He's got 5, and we're knotted up 8 apiece, nearly halfway through our first quarter. Matthew Klosterman has the top of the key for Central City beyond the volleyball line. Goes to Makai Benton on the right wing. Benton over to Aiden Klosterman, top of the key. He's driving inside. Dumps it down to Braden Rickles. He falls away. That's going to be no good. Rebound is loose and now picked up by Cohen Camus. Camus crosses the timeline. He has it at the CC logo over to Gadberry. Into the corner. Three-pointer on the way from Leamer. That one's going to be off the mark. Too strong off the back iron, I should say. Out of bounds. It'll be off of Lisbon, and it goes to Central City. Got a sub for either side here. And now we've got the call going to be overruled. They're going to say it goes to Lisbon. So the official says he didn't see, gives it to the other official, but then he says that he did see, apparently. Nonetheless, Grayson Woolham's into the game for Lisbon, a 6'5 sophomore. And for Central City, Jaden Hansen making his first appearance of the game, a 5'11 junior. Funny how the official only saw the play after the coaches and crowd gave him an earful. Gadberry crossing, or near the timeline, I should say, over to Leamer in the right wing. All over him are the Makai Benton and Marcus Shellhorn. Gets it out of there to Gadberry. 22 to shoot. As Makai Benton takes some contact to the face, but they're going to get him for the foul. He's grabbing his nose, clearly in some pain, but the foul's on him. It's his second, team second. So they're going to have to get Mackay out of there as Castor Abernathy enters the game for the first time. The 6'1 junior averaging 2.5 points per game. And a rebound as Mackay Benton goes to the bench with 3:41 to play in the opening quarter. Tied up 8-8 is our score. Inbounds pass goes to Woolham, the new entrant into the ball game. He gives it over to Leamer. Now Camus with the basketball, gives a head fake and swings it right wing to Gadberry. Gadberry top of the key, into the corner to Leamer. On the right side of the floor, top of the key to Gadberry once again. Nice crossover dribble, but can't get past Matthew Klosterman that time. Swings it over, corner three on the way from Woolham. That's off the mark, a little bit too short. Out of bounds off of Lisbon, and it goes to Central City. Another sub into the game for Lisbon. Dylan Brayton making his first appearance, a 5'9 senior averaging 3.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists. Matthew Klosterman bringing it up for Central City. We're tied up 8-8, nearly 5 minutes gone, I should say, here in this opening quarter. Matthew Klosterman in the right corner, pressured heavily. Now gets it over to Aiden Klosterman, right wing. Back to Matthew. He's got some space. Puts up the three. That's off the mark. Slides off the rim. Out of bounds. Will be off of Central City. Goes back to Lisbon. 3 minutes to go until the end of the first quarter. We're tied up 8-8 between Lisbon and Central City. Here from Central City High School. Michael Gadberry takes the inbounds pass. He will walk it up for the Lions. Their junior player, averaging 18.5 points per game, crosses the timeline. Picks up his dribble at the volleyball line. Over to Woolham on the right wing. Gives it over to Camus. Camus dribbling to his right, getting inside. Now gives it over to Brayton, the new entrant into the ballgame. Woolham has it at the free throw line. Lost it, but right to Camus. Gadberry puts up a left wing triple. That is going to be off the mark, no good. Sarnecki got the rebound, and he was fouled. As that'll be Central City's third. We'll see who they got the call on. And that will be on Castor Abernathy, it appears. That would be his first. And as I said, it is the team's third. Baseline out of bounds for the Lions as Cohen Camus will throw it in. Lob play to Sarnecki, but it's taken away. Matthew Klosterman defended that one perfectly, got the steal. Now he crosses the timeline. Matthew Klosterman, top of the key, gets past the defender, dumps it down to Shellhorn. Aiden Klosterman, left wing, triple on the way, puts it in. Aiden Klosterman knocks down his second triple. He's got 6. It's 11-8 Central City. 2:15 to play in the opening quarter. Gadberry has the top of the key. Swings it over to Brayton on the right wing. Inside, Woolham has it. Going at his defender. That's Shellhorn on him. Now out to Brayton. Swing pass goes to Camus on the left wing. Gadberry top of the key now for the Lions. Brayton right wing. Goes inside to Sarnecki. Splits the gap, but lost the basketball. Goes out of bounds off of Sarnecki. And it will go to Central City. 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. 11-8 Wildcats is our score. Again, these two teams looking to secure their spot in the district championship game on Tuesday. As Matthew inbounds to Aiden, gives it right back to his brother, and Matthew Klosterman brings it up the floor for Central City. Matthew has it on the right wing, gives it over to Marcus Shellhorn at the free throw line. Abernathy takes a left corner three-pointer. That's going to be off the back iron, no good, and rebounded by Sarnecki. Gadberry into the front court for Lisbon, guarded by Aiden Klosterman. Minute 40 to go in the opening quarter. Camus has it now, swings it back over to Gadberry into the corner. This is Brayton with the basketball. Now back out to Gadberry, calling for a screen, gets it from Sarnecki, splits a double team, dumps it down. Woolham open on the inside, and he finishes the layup as Grayson Woolham gets his first basket. And the Lions back within one, 11-10, a minute 20 to play in the quarter. Matthew Klosterman has it right wing, gives it over to Hansen in the corner, inside Shellhorn at the free throw line, now over to Abernathy. Abernathy driving in, was stripped to the basketball by Gadberry, but Aiden Klosterman hustles down the floor, pokes it out of bounds. It will stay with Lisbon, but the outstanding hustle from Aiden Klosterman saves a fast break layup. And the Lions will now at least have to earn their basket if they want to score here in this possession. Dayton Price makes his first appearance of the game. The 6-foot junior had an outstanding night against Central Elkader in the district quarterfinal on Monday. Tyler Saucer, a 5'7 sophomore, into the game for Lisbon. Gadberry with the basketball for the Lions on the right wing. Swings it over to Saucer. Guarded by Matthew Klosterman. Over to Woolham in the left wing. Trying to get inside. Drives the baseline, but he stepped out of bounds. No, it's going to be a traveling violation, but nonetheless, it is a turnover. And it goes back to Central City. 55 seconds to go until the end of the first. 11-10 is our score in favor of Central City. Matthew Klosterman walking it up for Central City. The sophomore point guard has 5 points. Scored the first 5 points of the game, in fact. He has it at the top of the key. Goes over to Jaden Hansen on the right wing. Now to Abernathy, top of the key. Now to Hansen. Hansen goes high post to Dayton Price. Back out to Matthew Klosterman. He's driving in. Now has it on the left wing. 35 seconds until the half. 14 to shoot. Hansen. Going to be called for the block, and it was going to be on Lisbon, I should say. Hansen was the one driving in that forced the foul, as that is going to be Lisbon's second. We'll stay with Central City for a baseline out of bounds. Shot clock is off. They can hold for one. waiting to see who they called the foul on as Matthew Closeman will throw it in. Does so to Marcus Shellhorn. Marcus gives it over to Matthew Closeman. Right wing triple on the way. That's going to be off the mark. No good. Foul was on Woolham, but it stays alive as Hansen gets the rebound. Abernathy has the top of the key. He gives it over to Matthew Closeman. We'll see if the Wildcats hold for one here with the shot clock turned off. 16 seconds and counting to play in the opening quarter. Matthew Closeman has it near the timeline. Down to 10 seconds. Matthew uses a screen. Gives it over to Shellhorn. He thought about a three. Now to Hansen. 6 seconds. Hansen driving in. Lays it up. Blocked by Woolham. Picked up by Brayton. Way down the floor. Finding Gadberry. It's going to be tipped out of bounds, but the buzzer sounds first. And that will do it for the opening quarter of play here from Central City. So 8 minutes down here in the opening quarter. And the Wildcats hold the slimmest of margins. Our score, Central City 11 and Lisbon 10. We've got some time. We'll give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Bank is here to provide the kind of services that keep community in banking. That means working with local businesses to provide funding to help you grow and giving guidance and support when you're ready to purchase your first home. Heartland Bank, we're here for you. So an eventful opening quarter of play with 11 points scored by Central City, 10 for Lisbon. Wildcats hold the 1 point advantage. Here's a look at the scoring from Central City. Aiden Closeman had 6. Matthew Closeman with 5. They provided all the baskets in the opening quarter. For Lisbon, 5 points for Michael Gadberry, 3 for Mason Leamer, and 2 points from Grayson Woolham. 1 foul each for Lisbon on Dalen Schaefer and Grayson Woolham. For Central City, Castor Abernathy has 1, and Mackay Benton has 2. Mackay spent the majority of the opening quarter on the bench with those 2 personal fouls, and he did not check in between quarters. He will also start the second quarter on the bench. Lions going to start the quarter with Camus, Gadberry, Sarnecki, Saucer, and Woolham. Wildcats going with the Klostermans, Shellhorn, Price, and Abernathy. Lisbon basketball to begin the second quarter of play. Wildcats leading 11-10 as the inbounds pass goes to Gadberry. He has it at the top of the key. Now right wing to Saucer. Goes top of the key to Camus. Camus back to Saucer on the right wing. Picks it up. Back to Camus, top of the key. Camus beyond the volleyball line at the moment. Over to Saucer, right wing. Dribbling left. Swings it over. Finds Gadberry. Into the corner to Camus. Inside. Woolham dumps it down to Sarnecki. His layup is up, and his layup is good. Luke Sarnecki gets his first basket, and the Lions lead 12-11. 7.5 to go in the second quarter. Matthew Closeman walking it up for Central City, taking his time. Has it at the top of the key. Goes over to Abernathy, right wing. Now finds Matthew Closeman. Right corner, thought about a three. Instead swings it out. Aiden Closeman thought about a three from the top of the key. Now he's driving in, picks it up on the left wing. Over to Matthew Closeman. 16 to shoot for Central City. As Matthew spins, now he loses the basketball. It's still on the ground and picked up by Woolham. Turned over, back to the Lions. Gadberry walking it up for Lisbon, taking his time here. Lions are not the kind of team that wants to take too many possessions as Sarnecki's working inside. Guarded by Abernathy, gets it out of there to Camus on the right wing. Right elbow now, it's taken away. Aiden Closeman gets another big steal. It's 2-on-2 inside. Aiden is big block there by Woolham on the fast break as it goes back to Lisbon. Gadberry has it on the right wing, driving in, swings it out. Saucer thought about a three. He swings it over to Woolham in the right corner. He goes baseline, stops, throws it up, no good. Great defense by Dayton Price. Stayed straight up, boxed out, got the rebound. And the Wildcats get it back, trailing 12-11. 6.5 to go in the second quarter. Matthew Closeman top of the key. Swings it over to Aiden Closeman left wing. Picks up his dribble, in some trouble, pressured heavily. Now gets it out of there to Castor Abernathy. Right back to Aiden in the right corner now. Or left corner, excuse me. Top of the key to Matthew Closeman. Matthew driving in. Throws up a floater from the paint. No good off the backboard. And rebounded by Woolham. Gadberry into the front court for Lisbon. Driving inside, now kicks it out. Saucer thought about a three-pointer, and he shuffled the feet. Tyler Saucer called for the travel for Lisbon, and it goes back to Central City. Mason Leamer back into the game for the Lions, and for the Wildcats, Braden Rickles re-enters. He replaces Marcus Shellhorn. Just under 6 minutes to play in the opening half of basketball here from Central City. Wildcats trail the Lions by a score of 12-11. Matthew Closeman into the front court. Gives it over to Aiden Closeman, left alone, left corner three, left it a bit long off the back iron, but Dayton Price gets the rebound. Abernathy drives in, met with some pressure, swings it cross court to Aiden Closeman. Matthew top of the key driving in, over to Abernathy, fakes the three, driving inside now, dumps it down, Braden Rickles tries to find Dayton Price, out of bounds off the Lions. It will stay with Central City. As for the Lions, Dalen Schaefer re-entering the game. He replaces Grayson Woolham, quite the 1-2 punch of sophomores off the bench they can go with, 6'5" for 6'4". As Aiden Klosterman takes the three off the inbounds play, it rattles out halfway home, but no good, and Schaefer pulls in the rebound. 12-11 Lisbon, 5.5 to go in the second quarter. Leamer has it in the right corner. Now brings it up to the right wing. Top of the key to Gadberry. Fakes the three. Now Camus left wing. High post. Schaefer from the left elbow drives in. Throws up a wild shot, and he traveled. Shot was no good regardless, but it goes back to Central City. We got a timeout called by Coach Turner. A 30-second timeout is called. 5:14 to play in the second quarter. Our score, Lisbon 12 and Central City 11. A low-scoring game for the most part so far. Lions won their previous game in a very low-scoring affair as well. Final at Clayton Ridge was 46-36. That's kind of the tempo they like to play. Wildcats trailing by one here, 12-11. But they have yet to score here in the second quarter and still are just within 1 point because they've only allowed 1 point so far in the second period of play. Wildcats out of the timeout going with the Klostermans, Rickles, Abernathy, and Price. Lions back on the floor as well. They have their starters of Camus, Gadberry, Leamer, Sarnecki, and Schaefer. Inbounds pass goes to Matthew Klosterman, and Marcus Shellhorn will re-enter at the next dead ball. Matthew into the front court. Gives it over to Abernathy in the right corner. Now over to Braden Rickles, right wing. Swing to Aiden Klosterman. Matthew Klosterman in the left corner now. Looking over the floor. Gives it up to the wing. Now he picks up his dribble. Over to Price in the left corner. They're double teaming the corners at all times, and Dayton Price turns it over. Taken away by Schaefer way down the floor. Gadberry was down there, but he's too strong on the layup. Credit Aiden Klosterman for making him think about his presence. Great hustle by Aiden, saves another easy basket, and it goes back to Central City. Abernathy has it on the right wing, dribbling up towards the top of the key, now backs out over to Aiden Klosterman. Aiden, high post to Price. He's pressured heavily over to Abernathy, who drives inside, gets to the cup, got out of control, throws it off the Lions. It will stay with Central City. Marcus Shellhorn back into the game for the Wildcats. He will replace Dayton Price. 4.5 to go until the halftime break. It is Lisbon 12 and Central City 11 here in Central City. Matthew Klosterman to inbound from the baseline. Does so to Aiden Klosterman, right wing. Gives the top of the key to Abernathy. Swings to Aiden Klosterman. Now Marcus Shellhorn, short corner, picks up his dribble. Back to Aiden on the right wing. Top of the key to Matthew Klosterman. Thought about a triple. Driving in, stops, throws up a fall-away jumper from the paint. No good, a little short off front of the rim, and rebounded by the Lions. Still at 12-11, just 2 points halfway through our second quarter so far, the entire period of play. Leamer swings it to Gadberry. Three-pointer from the right corner. That's no good. Castor Abernathy gets the backside rebound. Matthew Klosterman racing into the front court for Central City. Has it poked away and taken away. Michael Gadberry with the steal. One-on-one fast break. His layup's no good, however. Schaefer gets the rebound. It's poked away. Rebounded that time by Sarnecki. His putback's no good. Poked out of bounds by Braden Rickles, as it will stay with Lisbon. Grayson Woolham back into the game for the Lions, replacing Luke Sarnecki. Lisbon basketball, baseline out of bounds, 3:42 to play in the opening half. 12-11 Lisbon is our score. Camus to inbound for the Lions. Running out of time, finds Leamer in the corner on the right side of the floor, over to Gadberry, right wing. Swings it over to Camus on the left wing, left elbow to Schaefer. Woolham driving in, kicks it back to Schaefer. 15-footer on the way from the short corner, no good. Put back from Woolham is no good, and Braden Rickles secures the rebound. Rickles gives to Matthew Klosterman, who walks it up the floor, now jogs it up the floor for Central City. 3:20 to play until halftime. Matthew Klosterman has the top of the key. 12-11 Lisbon our score. Abernathy has it on the right wing. Dribbling up. He's met by some pressure, splitting the double team. Dumps it down, trying to find Marcus Shellhorn. It was tipped out of bounds, however, and it will stay with Central City. 17 to shoot. Wildcats have a baseline out of bounds. Matthew Klosterman to throw it in. Calling a play call out from this baseline out of bounds play. Inbounds to Braden Rickles. He goes inside, kicks it out. Aiden Klosterman, left wing triple. That's too strong off the back of the iron. Matthew Klosterman tries to save it. Great effort, but Woolham is there, and he picks it up. Matthew Klosterman nearly takes it away, but they're going to get a foul. He was trying to come up with the steal. They're going to get him for his first. It'll be team foul number 4. Again, it is the first called on Matthew Klosterman. Jaden Hansen back into the game for the Wildcats. And Luke Sarnecki re-enters for Central City, or for Lisbon, excuse me. Abernathy and Leamer go to the bench for their respective teams, as we've got a timeout on the floor. Called by Lisbon. It's a 30-second timeout. 2:59 to play in the second quarter. Lisbon 12, Central City 11. Well, for you Central City fans listening in, the bad news is we have yet to score a point so far in this second quarter. The good news is we've only allowed 2 points, and we trail by just 1, 12-11, as we close in on this halftime break. For the Central City, 5 points from Matthew Klosterman, 6 from Aiden Klosterman. For Lisbon, 5 from Michael Gadberry, 3 from Mason Leamer, 2 each from Luke Sarnecki and Grayson Woolham. Lisbon basketball out of the timeout. Camus will inbound to Gadberry. He throws it in, and Gadberry crosses into the front court. Have not seen Makai Benton since he picked up the second foul. I'm guessing won't see him again until the third quarter. Camus has the basketball for Lisbon. On the left elbow, now finds Schaefer on the right wing. Stops, dumps it down to Sarnecki, gets him open, blocked by Jaden Hansen. What a block by Hansen to keep it alive. Marcus Shellhorn tried to throw it off Gadberry's shoe, but missed, and it goes out of bounds. We'll stay with Lisbon, but an emphatic block by Central City's Jaden Hansen. They reset the shot clock. They should not have, and they did notice. And now we're going to have a discussion, but the shot clearly didn't touch the rim. It was blocked pretty heavily by Jaden Hansen, so the shot clock should not have reset. Central City never took control of the basketball, and they're going to try to figure this out. It is currently at a full 35, but it should be under that. I think the argument that Coach Montague of the Lions is trying to make is that the Wildcats had possession, but the closest thing we had to possession was Marcus jumping up in the air and trying to throw it off of a Lisbon player. So now we're going to have a conversation. All three officials have a quick talk. And I think one official is saying he never had clear possession. The other was asking if that was the case. You can see him pantomiming the throwing motion that Marcus tried to make off of a Lisbon player. And now the official runs over back to the bench and talks to Coach Montague. 12-11 our score once again, 2:45 until halftime. Currently the discussion is where the shot clock should be. The shot was blocked by Hansen. They reset the shot clock, but I believe that was done in error. But the argument from the Lisbon side is that the Wildcats, for at least just a small moment, did have full possession. But I believe the call is going to be that was not the case, and they do bring the shot clock down nearly 20 seconds. It is 16 on the shot clock now. That is what Lisbon will have to shoot as we will resume this basketball game. 2:42 until halftime. Inbounds pass goes to Gadberry, left alone for a straight-on triple. He puts it in. Shot clock ends up not mattering too much as Gadberry drains the three right away. He's got 8. It's 15-11 Lisbon. Matthew Klosterman goes over to Jaden Hansen in the right corner, tries to dump it down. It's poked out of bounds by Lisbon. It's going to be nearly saved by the Lions, but it will go out of bounds off of Lisbon. Outstanding effort by Gadberry to try to save it, but we'll go back to Central City as Braden Rickles will throw it in right in front of the Lion bench. 2.5 to play in the second quarter. 15-11 is our score in favor of Lisbon. Matthew Klosterman left wing. Gives it over to Braden Rickles in the left corner. Trying to go inside, finds Jaden Hansen instead. He splits a double team. Picks it up, over to Matthew Klosterman, fakes the three, driving baseline. Gets inside, takes some contact, it's blocked. Picked up by Hansen, he's stripped of the basketball, taken away by Schaefer. Schaefer trying to go downhill, stops, throws up a wild shot, and it's good high off the window. As Dalen Schaefer gets his first basket, and now the Wildcats could be in some trouble if they can't get the scoring going. They trail 17-11. Matthew Klosterman over to Jaden Hansen, right wing, right elbow to Marcus Shellhorn. Rickles driving inside. It's once again blocked by Woolham. Matthew Klosterman for 3, no good. Rebound pulled in by Woolham. Wildcats got to try going with a shot fake when they go at Woolham because he is blocking everything they're throwing up there right now. Gadberry driving the baseline, finds Schaefer, fakes the 3, and he traveled. Traveling violation called. That goes back to Central City, and Makai Benton back into the game for the Wildcats. Coach Turner, I'm assuming, telling him, got to be very careful, playing with 2 fouls. Let's try to get these last 93 seconds gone before he picks up anything else in terms of fouls. 17-11 Lisbon, 90 seconds till halftime. Aiden Klosterman swings it to Benton. He'll take a three-pointer straight into the game, and he puts it in. Makai Benton comes in off the bench cold, knocks down the triple. Wildcats back within 3, 17-14, a minute 15 till halftime. Lions with the basketball. Gadberry picks it up, right wing to Camus. Right elbow now, over to Woolham. Schaefer has it on the left corner, driving inside. Throws Braden Rickles. They're not going to call that, unfortunately. Gadberry dumps it down to Sarnecki, and they're going to have a traveling violation called before the pass, I believe, as it goes back to Central City. Lisbon has Leamer back into the game. He will replace Woolham. 58 seconds until halftime. It's 17-14. Lisbon on top by 3. As Benton inbounds to Matthew Klosterman. Matthew walking it up here for Central City. Let's see if they can't get a 2-for-1 to try to take advantage of this shot clock late before halftime. Matthew picks it up, swings over to Benton. He drives inside, throws it up, and it is good. Makai Benton gets another basket to go, making his presence felt right away coming off the bench. Wildcats within one, 17-16. Gadberry top of the key for Lisbon. About a 7-second difference between shot and game clock at the moment. 26 to shoot for Lisbon. And they're going to get a little weak reach-in foul on Matthew Klosterman. I don't think he touched the ball or the player, but they're going to get him for the foul. That'll be his second and the team's fifth. So Lucas Greif makes his first appearance of the game for Central City. The 5'8 senior replaces Matthew Klosterman. And before Benton could potentially pick up a third, he gets out of there after 5 quick points. He's replaced by Castor Abernathy. Shot clock is off, 26 seconds until halftime. Lisbon basketball. Camus gives it over to Gadberry. High post to Woolham. He gives it over to Sarnecki, driving baseline. Falling away, throws up a tough shot and gets it to go. Sarnecki with 4, Lions by 3, 19-16. As that's nearly taken away, and Aiden Klosterman takes some serious contact. He is bumped to the floor. Gets up laughing about it, not too concerned. As the foul will go on Gadberry, I believe. That'll be his first and the team's fourth. As the Wildcats can hold for one here, 8 seconds until halftime. Greif has it on the right wing, picks it up. Over to Rickles in the right corner. Inside, Shellhorn nearly taken away. Gadberry with 1 second. Throws it up before the buzzer. It rims out. Nearly got it to go to beat the buzzer. That would have been a disaster for Central City, as they should have been able to hold it for one if they'd taken care of the basketball. But it fortunately rims out. But Lisbon does hold the advantage here at the halftime break. Wildcats only muster 5 points in the entire second quarter, all 5 coming from Makai Benton in about a 45 or 60-second sprint. But still anybody's ball game here at the halfway point. Again, our score is Lisbon 19 and Central City 16. Let's quickly take a look at the scoring numbers from the opening half of play. First up for Lisbon, they were led by Michael Gadberry. He finished the half with 8 of their 16 points right at half. Luke Sarnecki had 4, 3 from Mason Leamer, 2 each from Grayson Woolham and Dalen Schaefer. For Central City, leading scorer was Aiden Klosterman. He hit 2 threes for 6 points. Matthew Klosterman and Makai Benton both had 5. And that rounds out the scoring in the opening quarter, or opening half, I should say, for Central City. Looking at the fouls, Lisbon does not have any real foul trouble. 1 each on Michael Gadberry, as well as Grayson Woolham and Dalen Schaefer. Just 3 fouls as a team for Lisbon. For Central City, Matthew Klosterman and Makai Benton both have 2. 1 from Castor Abernathy. That is all for foul trouble for Central City, but certainly some big names that do have 2. Matthew Klosterman and Makai Benton, again, both with 2 fouls. Makai picked his up early in the first quarter. Did not see the floor a whole lot in the rest of that first half, but did come in for a short spell, I should say, and got 5 quick points to at least get this to a more respectable 3-point deficit here at the halfway point of this ball game. Again, 19-16 is our score. Lisbon by 3. Wildcats only had 3 players score in the opening 16 minutes of play. Again, 6 from Aiden Klosterman, 5 each from Matthew Klosterman and Makai Benton. Wildcats last time out had probably their most even game in terms of spreading the wealth and having several players get a good amount of points, but only 3 have scored so far tonight. They'll need to have some other kids step up, and certainly those big 3 to continue playing well if they want to come back. Well, not really come back at this point, just a 3-point deficit, but if they want to be able to be victorious, move on to Tuesday's district championship. Do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. At Heartland Bank, the strength of our bank lies in the relationships that give meaning to our work. At all times, we remain focused on what we do best, operating as a dependable community bank and delivering on our personal service commitment. Go Central City Wildcats. As always, a big thank you to our sole sponsor of these Wildcat sports broadcasts, Heartland Bank. Without their support, could not provide you with these broadcasts all throughout the football, volleyball, and basketball seasons. So certainly a big thank you to our sole supporter of Heartland Bank, of course, located here on Main Street in Central City. Could not do these broadcasts without them. So again, we are at halftime here from Central City. David Warrington here with you from Central City High School as we have district semifinal action going on here tonight. That is between Lisbon and Central City. Winner moves on to Tuesday's district championship game. The winner of that will move on to Saturday's, that is a week from tomorrow, the sub-state championship game, the winner of which goes to the state tournament at the Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines. Of course, Wells Fargo busy this time of year, hosting wrestling this week. Then boys and girls basketball coming shortly. See if we can get an updated look at the bracket. There was at least one game played yesterday. As despite the weather, I know that North Lynn and South Winneshiek did play their game. It was a comfortable victory for North Lynn, moving on to the district championship on Tuesday. We will load up the bracket here in a moment and see what we can find out about other games going on. We are in 1A Sub-State 3 once again. Within Sub-State 3, we are in District 6. Each sub-state has 2 districts. The district champions meet up in a sub-state championship, and the winner of that one moves on to state. So, in fact, both teams did get their games in last night on the other side of the bracket. In fact, we are the only team that did not get our game in last night. So, looking at the bracket, last night in District 5, North Lynn hosted South Winneshiek and won 97-64. It was a close game over in Delhi. Maquoketa Valley taking down Turkey Valley. Final there was 47-42. They will play on Tuesday, 7 o'clock at Independence High School. Those conference rivals, Northland split the regular season series. Lynx have yet to lose. They will play 7 o'clock on Tuesday at Independence. Winner moves on to Saturday's Sub-State Championship. And then in our bracket, over at Wapsie Valley High School last night, the Warriors took down the visiting Nashua Plainfield team and won 68-52. So the winner of this game has Wapsie Valley, the top seed in District 6, awaiting them. And it is official. That game will be played at Starmont High School. Again, that game scheduled for the 21st, this coming Tuesday, 7 o'clock tip-off at Starmont High School in Arlington. Again, our score here at halftime, 19-16. Lisbon by 3, and what's been a very low-scoring affair to this point. Lions and the Wildcats certainly both still in every bit of contention to win this game with 16 minutes to play. So again, it is confirmed. Wapsie Valley does in fact await the winner of this one. And the location will be Starmont High School, a place Central City has already played this year. They went there and played a regular season game at Starmont and got the victory. It is worth noting it was not a blowout over there at North Lynn for at least their general meaning of the word. They were only up by 6 after a quarter, led 46-35 at halftime, and then they finally started to really run away with it, winning by a final of 97-64. So certainly still comfortable, but some props to South Winneshiek. They did keep that one competitive for the most part throughout that, especially first half. So Lisbon's back on the floor first. They lead 19-16. Wildcats only put up 5 points in that second quarter, but fortunately the defense held up, only allowing 2 points for about 6 minutes and then ending up allowing 9 for the entire quarter. So certainly still anybody's ball game here at the halfway point. About 3.5 minutes till we play second half basketball, as Lisbon is again out first, getting their shots up. Winner of this one plays Wapsie Valley at Starmont High School on Tuesday. 7 o'clock tip for that ball game. If the Wildcats win, I will be there and will at least do my best to have the call. For anybody that's been to Arlington, you know all too well the service leaves something to be desired over there. So I'm not going to promise a broadcast, but I will promise to do everything in my power to find a way to make that happen. I will make the trip, and we'll see how things work over there when I get to Arlington. Of course, that is only if the Wildcats can win this ball game, trailing by 3 at the half here behind Lisbon. Wildcats did trail at halftime of their first, or their quarterfinal game, I should say, on Monday against Central Elkader, but did manage to come back to win that one in the end. They won it by a final of 71-66 over Central Elkader, a team they beat 91-48 back in the regular season, but certainly you don't pay too much attention to final scores in the postseason. As long as you win a ball game, that's all you really care about. The Wildcats faced the same deficit on Monday. They were trailing by 3, 33-30 back on Monday evening. They ended up outscoring the Warriors by 8 in the second half to win by 5, 71-66. But the key there was they were comfortably ahead of Elkader in the third quarter, 21 points to 14, winning that quarter by 7. We're going to need to see a very good third quarter, for Central City here coming up. About a minute 45 until we play second half basketball here in the district semifinals. Lisbon and Central City with Wapsie Valley awaiting the winner on Tuesday. Will be the final game for Central City in this gym, win or lose, as they do play at Starmont coming up on Tuesday if they win. Will also be my final game calling a ball game here in Central City's gym. Do want to take a quick moment to thank everybody who's listened to me these past 3 years. I've been the voice of Wildcat football and basketball. Certainly do appreciate all of my listeners. If nobody listened in, we certainly couldn't put together these broadcasts. So I do want to say thank you to everybody who's listened in either once or consistently, whatever the case may be. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to Wildcat basketball, football, and volleyball, of course, when those broadcasts go on during the fall here on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page. So we are just about set to go for the second half. 45 seconds and counting on the clock. Possession arrow favors Central City. They will get the basketball first. They will work right to left in this third quarter and fourth quarter as well, as Lisbon will work left to right. That is from my vantage point here in the home stands on the top bleacher. Lisbon takes the floor first. They will go with their starting five to begin the second half. That's Cohen Camus, Michael Gadberry, Mason Leamer, Luke Sarnecki, and Dalen Schaefer. Wildcats will also go with their starting group. Matthew and Aiden Klosterman, Makai Benton, Braden Rickles, and Marcus Shellhorn. Wildcat basketball first. Rickles will throw in to Matthew Klosterman. Gives it to Matthew, who is working right to left. He crosses the timeline, and the third quarter is underway. Matthew dribbling left, gives it over to Rickles in the left corner. Now back to Matthew. Over to Makai Benton, driving inside, stops. Over to Aiden Klosterman, right wing. Thought about a triple, now back to Makai. Right elbow to Braden Rickles. Working the round. Matthew Klosterman gets a good look at a three. He buries a triple. Matthew Klosterman, his second triple of the game. Give him 8 points on the night. And we are evened up here in Central City, 19 all. 30 seconds gone in the third quarter. Lions working the round. Gadberry takes a straight-on triple. He answers back right away. Gadberry, the first player in double figures. He's got 11. It's 22-19 Lisbon. 45 seconds gone here in the third quarter. Matthew Klosterman has the basketball for Central City. Has it on the left wing now. Picks it up over to Benton in the paint. Stops, puts up an open jumper. He gets it to go off front of the rim, takes the bounce into the hoop. Benton's got 7, and the Wildcats are back within 1, 22-21, a minute gone in the third quarter. Leamer puts up a triple for Lisbon. That is too strong, nearly missed everything, did hit the back iron barely, and it's rebounded by Braden Rickles. Matthew Klosterman has the top of the key. Picks up his dribble, looking around, finds Braden Rickles in the left corner. He's looking around now, gives it to Shellhorn on the inside where he's double teamed. Benton stops, fakes the shot, goes up, lays it up, no good. Rebound pulled in by Leamer. Gadberry running for Lisbon, has it on the right wing. Now crosses over, swings it over. Leamer, open triple from the left corner on the way. That's going to be no good, too strong off the back iron. Makai Benton saves the rebound to Braden Rickles, and the Wildcats will get it back, trailing by 1. A minute gone, or 90 seconds gone in the third quarter. 22-21 Lisbon. Matthew Klosterman working around top of the key. Hands it off to Braden Rickles, dribbling to his right, poked by Gadberry. He comes up with the steal, running in the fast break. Lays it up. His layup's no good. Good job by Rickles to contest without fouling. Forces the miss. And now Aiden Klosterman ahead to Matthew Klosterman on the left wing. 2 minutes gone. 22-21 is our score. Lisbon by 1. Matthew Klosterman looking around. Driving in. Nearly lost the basketball. Picks it back up and finds Aiden Klosterman. Right elbow. Now over to Makai Benton for a three-pointer. He puts it in. Makai Benton drains the triple. He's got 10 to lead the Wildcats. And they're back on top. 24-22. 5:45 to play in the third. Gadberry with the basketball. He pulls up for a triple. He can't answer this time. The rebound's loose, and Sarnecki's going to track it down. Gets it back out of there to Camus. High post, jumper on the way from Schaefer. He puts it in from the right elbow. As Dalen Schaefer gets his second basket, he's got 4. It's 24 all. Scoreboard says 24-21. Now they got it. Score is correct, 24 all. Matthew Klosterman to the free throw line to Marcus Shellhorn. Back to Matthew. He'll take a right wing triple. That's good off the glass. Matthew Klosterman banks it in. The bank working after hours this evening. And the Wildcats go up 27-24. Gadberry has it, gives it to the free throw line to Schaefer. Turns, lost the basketball. Aiden Klosterman diving on the floor, picks it up. Now it's loose again. Aiden still diving on it. Throws it up for grabs. Braden Rickles and Cohen Camus dive for it. They're going to get a jump ball, and that does favor Lisbon. Wildcats got it to begin the third quarter. Outstanding hustle by both sides, especially Aiden Klosterman, hitting the deck multiple times on that possession. but it does stay with the Lions off the jump ball. Kane with the throw it in from the baseline. Does so to Schaefer. Bobbles it, but gets it back. Gets it out of there. Gadberry thought about a triple. Now retreats. Over to Schaefer. Takes a three-pointer. Misses everything. Wide left. Out of bounds. And it goes back to Central City. And the Wildcats are letting them hear it after missing everything on that previous three-point attempt. 4:45 to play in the third quarter. Wildcats on top by 3, 27-24 here in this third period of play. Matthew Klosterman uses a screen, backs out, swings it over to Aiden Klosterman right corner. Now back to Mekhi Benton. Takes some contact, no call. Right elbow jumper is good. Mekhi Benton has a dozen, scoring very well. His points per minute would be very high. He has not played a whole lot tonight, but he's got several points in the last several minutes. We've got a timeout called by Lisbon. Coach Montague uses a timeout. This will be a full 60-second timeout. 4:25 to play in the third quarter. Central City 29 and Lisbon 24. So Lisbon has 2 fulls and a 30 remaining. Wildcats with all 3 fulls as well as a 30-second timeout in their back pocket. For Lisbon, they are led by Michael Gadberry. He has 11. Luke Sarnecki and Dalen Schaefer both have 4. 3 from Mason Leamer and 2 from Grayson Woolham. For Central City, Matthew Klosterman has 11. Mekhi Benton's the leading scorer for both sides with 12. And Aiden Klosterman has added 6 points. Still just the 3 scores for Central City, but if they can score consistently, it's not as big of a problem. Again, 29-24 our score. Wildcats have looked much better offensively here in this third quarter than they did in the later portions of the first and all of the second quarter. So we'll see if they can keep that momentum up. Coach Montague of the Lions called the timeout, trying to regroup his team as they fall down by 5. It's a Lisbon team that doesn't score it super prolifically, at least in their last several games, averaging 54 points per game on the year. Wildcats nearly 59 points per game on average. Out of the timeout, it will be Lisbon basketball. 30 to shoot as the inbounds pass goes to Gadberry. Over to Leamer. Thought about a 3. Now gives it over to Gadberry. Right wing to Camus. He dribbles through, swings it over. Leamer, left corner, thought about it. Now gets it back out of there to Michael Gadberry. Leamer, thought about a 3. Goes baseline, dump down pass is taken away. Mekhi Benton with the steal. Can't believe he didn't get the foul call and taking the contact, but does not worry about it too much. Makes his way down the floor. As now Mekhi Benton pulls up for a triple. It's good, and the foul! Mekhi Benton with the 4-point play, going to the free throw line to shoot 1. After draining the triple, he's got 15. Chance to make it 16 at the free throw line. Wildcats lead 32-24, as for the Lions, Grayson Woolham is back into the game, replacing Dalen Schaefer. Love to see Mekhi not worry about the call that may or may not have been missed. Instead, makes his way down the floor and helps his team out in the big way. Foul, by the way, was on Gadberry. That is his second, as Mekhi Benton completes the 4-point play, knocks in the free throw. He has got a game-high 16 points on the night, and the Wildcats lead at 33-24, 3:45 to go in the third quarter. Camus has the top of the key. Free throw line. Now over left corner. Leamer puts up a triple. Nearly touches the ceiling again. No good. Rebounded by Rickles. Crazy amount of arc on that shot, but he misses. And now Matthew Klosterman crosses the timeline for Central City. 3.5 to go in the third quarter. 33-24 Wildcats. Aiden Klosterman has the top of the key. Marcus Shellhorn swings it to Rickles. The miscommunication. Rickles was trying to cut. Marcus pats his chest and says, "My bad." And we'll go back to Lisbon for the Lions. We've got Mason Leamer exiting the ball game, replaced by Dylan Brayton. Cohen Camus bringing it up for the Lions, crossing the timeline, working left to right. Picks it up top of the key, now left wing over to Gadberry. Back to Camus, top of the key, now right back to Gadberry. Gets an open 3 from the left wing, no good. Rolls off the rim, put back from Woolham's no good. His second attempt is good, as Grayson Woolham, who's been a problem for Central City on the glass and blocking shots, gets it to go. He's got 4. It's 33-26 Wildcats. Matthew Klosterman has tons of contact. This is just being abused there, and they're going to get a foul on Braden Rickles. That's unbelievable. I believe they just called Braden for the foul. Matthew took a ton of contact as he was dribbling the basketball, but they're going to get it on Rickles, his first, team's first, and we'll go back to Lisbon. Just under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter, 33-26, Central City on top of the Lions. As Gadberry picks up his dribble, top of the key to Camus on the right wing. Dribbling to his left, now picks up his dribble. Over to Woolham, he drives inside. Throws up a shot, that is good. Grayson Woolham gets 4 quick points, give him 6 on the night. 33-28 our score, Wildcats lead it by 5. Matthew Klosterman top of the key, dribbling left. Now he picks up his dribble over to Aiden Klosterman just beyond the timeline. Now back to Matthew. Matthew trying to look around the floor, picks it up. Over to Rickles in the short corner, inside to Shellhorn. He swings it back to Matthew Klosterman, fakes the three, dumps it down. Marcus Shellhorn, open layup. He finishes on the inside. Marcus's first basket of the game. Beautiful find by Matthew Klosterman. It's 35-28 Wildcats. Gadberry with the basketball, right wing for Lisbon. Driving inside, taken away. Braden Rickles with the steal. Right place, right time, and great hands by Rickles to take that one away. Matthew Klosterman up ahead. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. 35-28 Central City, I believe, should be our score. As Matthew stops, swings it over to Aiden Klosterman. Makai Benton has the top of the key. Matthew Klosterman thought about a three, driving inside, steps through, finds Aiden Klosterman, right wing triple on the way, puts it in. Aiden Klosterman knocks down the three, his third of the game, give him 9 points. We've got a foul as well. Foul called on Makai after the shot, so the shot counts. But Makai just picked up his third, team second. So take the good and the bad. Makai picks up his third, but Aiden Klosterman knocks down a triple. Wildcats by 10, 38-28, 90 seconds until the end of the third. Brayton takes a corner three for Lisbon. That's no good. Rebound is picked up. Matthew Klosterman secures it, takes the contact, and he is fouled. That'll be Lisbon's second. We'll see who they whistled for it. Believe they got Grayson Woolham for that one. That'll be his second. Jaden Hanson and Castor Abernathy back in the game for Central City. As for the Wildcats, Aiden Klosterman and Braden Rickles will go to the bench. Makai Benton will play with his 3 fouls. Matthew Klosterman bringing it up for Central City, crossing the timeline, has it on the left wing, uses a screen from Shellhorn over to Benton, top of the key. Now Matthew on the left wing once again. Finds Abernathy right wing, now back to Matthew, top of the key. 20 to shoot. Matthew driving in, stops, puts up a pull-up jumper, no good, rebounded by Sarnecki. Gadberry down the floor for Lisbon. Crossover dribble, has it at the free throw line. Left wing to Camus, now Woolham top of the key. He's driving in, steps through, thought about it, now swings it over. Three-pointer on the way from Camus, left it short off side of the rim, rebound by Marcus Shellhorn. 45 seconds till the break, or till the end of the third quarter, excuse me. We've already had our halftime break as Matthew Klosterman brings it into the front court for Central City. Castor Abernathy has it left wing, top of the key to Hanson. Hanson driving in, swings to Matthew Klosterman. Corner three on the way, it's good. Matthew Klosterman knocks down the right corner triple. He's got 14 points. Wildcats lead at 41-28 over the Lisbon Lions. Shot clock is off. Dumped down to Sarnecki. He turns, finds Brayton. 18 on the clock. Camus thought about a three. Now Woolham working inside, steps through, throws it up. It is a foul before the shot attempt. And they're going to call it on Makai, I believe. They're going to call, might have been Marcus, in fact. Somebody got a foul. It was the team's fourth, I believe. And it was Marcus on the foul, just his first. So we'll take that over Makai. As Lucas Greif, as well as Braden Rickles into the game for Central City. Inbounds pass goes to Woolham on the inside. Stops, dumps it down to Sarnecki. He gets it out. Woolham thought about a three. Now dumps it back to Gadberry. 6 seconds on the clock. Pulls up for a contested triple. No good off the back iron. Hanson with the rebound. 3 seconds. And Makai Benton takes a ton of contact. He is fouled quite clearly that time as Cohen Camus will pick up his first. But I suppose the thought there is that you can sacrifice the foul for no chance the Wildcats getting off a shot because there are just 0.3 of a second remaining now. So the inbounds pass goes to Benton. They don't start the clock, but by rule, you cannot put up a jumper within 0.3 seconds. The rule is that you have to have at least 0.4 seconds to get a jumper off in time. Nonetheless, that'll do it for the third quarter, and the Wildcats have a great third quarter of play. 1 quarter to go, and they lead it by a score of 41-28 over Lisbon. Got a comment here from Keegan Cool. Let's go Cats and go David. Thanks, Keegan, for listening in, and see if the Wildcats can't clinch a victory here in the final 8 minutes of this ball game. For Central City, the offense really came alive in that third quarter. Makai Benton has 16 points for Central City. That leads all scorers. Matthew Klosterman with 14, Aiden Klosterman with 9, and Marcus Shellhorn has 2. For Lisbon, they are led by Michael Gadberry. He has 11, but he has not scored since Lisbon's first possession of the third quarter. Grayson Woolham has 6, 4 each from Luke Sarnecki and Dalen Schaefer, and 3 points from Mason Leamer. For the Wildcats, main foul trouble is Makai Benton with 3. Matthew Klosterman also has 2. Grayson Woolham and Michael Gadberry both have 2 for Lisbon. Wildcats going to start the fourth quarter with Aiden and Matthew Klosterman, Braden Rickles, Marcus Shellhorn, and Makai Benton. The starting group is out there for the Wildcats. For the Lions, It will also be their starting group with one exception: Camus, Gadberry, Lemur, Sarnecki, and Woolham instead of Schaefer for Lisbon. Wildcat basketball first, fourth quarter underway as Matthew Klosterman brings it up the floor. 41-28 our score, Central City to begin the fourth quarter. Makai Benton, left elbow. Braden Rickles takes a corner three. He drains the triple. Braden Rickles gets his first basket of the game, knocks down a three. Wildcats lead 44-28. Three-pointer on the way from Camus. That's going to be no good. And Makai Benton, with a man's rebound, secures it, and they're going to get a foul called on Lisbon. Grayson Woolham reaches hand into the cookie jar, and he will be called for his third. That is the team's fourth foul. And it goes back to Central City. 7.5 to play in the game. They lead at 44-28. A completely different Wildcat team we've seen since they went to the locker room for halftime. Matthew Klosterman sends it across the court to Braden Rickles in the left corner. Gives it over to Makai Benton, left wing. They're all over Makai. Body-to-body contact there, chest to chest. Now Matthew Klosterman has it right wing. Swings it over to Makai. He will take one dribble, pulls up for a mid-range jumper. That's going to be too short off front of the rim, and rebounded by Gadberry. Gadberry into the front court for Lisbon, has it left wing. Driving in, stops, throws up a wild floater, too short. Rebound by Aiden Klosterman. Matthew Klosterman to bring it up for Central City. 7 minutes to play in the game. 1 minute gone here in the fourth quarter, excuse me. Aiden Klosterman, open triple from the left wing, no good, and rebounded by Luke Sarnecki. Lemur brings it up for Lisbon, has it on the left wing. Gives it on the left elbow. Jumper on the way from Woolham. That's no good. A little of a knuckleball type shot there based on the rotation of the basketball. And now Matthew Klosterman walks it up. And we've got an issue with the clock. An official will go over and talk to the scorer's table. Currently it reads 6:38 in the game clock, 32 in the shot clock, and 44-28 is our score here in the fourth quarter. So we get the indication we're ready to play as Braden Rickles will inbound to Matthew Klosterman. As Matthew takes the inbounds pass and walks it up the floor. Crossing into the front court. Give is to Makai Benton. Gives it over to Aiden Klosterman. Thought about a three, now dribbling to his right. Stops, steps through, back to Makai Benton. Makai for three from the left wing. No good, little short off side of the rim. And rebounded by Gadberry. He's running in transition. Dump down pass to Woolham. His layup is good. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Grayson Woolham with the transition layup. He's got 8, and Lisbon uses the timeout. Coach Montague will call for the stoppage. And this will be a full 60-second timeout. 6:15 to play in the game. It is Central City 44 and Lisbon 30. So the Lions have a full and a 30 remaining. Central City with all 3 fulls and a 30. Wildcats again did trail at halftime. 19-16 was our score. Since then, the Wildcats have put up 28 points, and they have allowed just 14 points. They've doubled up the Lions here in the second half to this point. Again, the Wildcat leading the way for Central City is Makai Benton, 16 points, most recently on that huge 4-point play that really changed the momentum of things. That is when the Wildcats took back the momentum, and if they can win this game comfortably, it would be when the Wildcats took it back for good, because to this point, Lisbon has not reclaimed that momentum ever since that huge 4-point play from Makai Benton. Still plenty of basketball to go, though. 6:15 to play, and the Wildcats lead by 14. As the Lions will get into a full court press, and the inbounds pass goes to Matthew Klosterman. Lions in a 2-2-1. Klosterman's playing catch in the backcourt. Now Marcus Shellhorn has it right wing, gets it to Matthew Klosterman. Wildcats break the press. Makai Benton, top of the key, over to Matthew Klosterman. They're double teaming everybody that touches the basketball for the most part. Now Braden Rickles has in the left corner. Dump down to Benton. Stops, puts it up. Little floater's going to rattle out, no good. And rebounded by Woolham. Camus into the front court for Lisbon. Finds Gadberry on the right wing. Drives inside, kicks it over. Lemur fakes the three. Pull-up jumper on the way. That's going to be too strong, but it takes a lucky roll. And Mason Lemur gets the basket to go. He's got 5. It's 44-32 Wildcats. Matthew Klosterman down the floor to Makai Benton. He's got him on the right wing. Back to Matthew. He's got a top of the key now. Being pressured by Camus, over to Aiden Klosterman, into the corner to Marcus Shellhorn. Back to Aiden Klosterman. Dribbling right, has it top of the key, gives it over to Matthew Klosterman, right wing. Matthew driving inside, getting to the cup, kicks it over. Marcus Shellhorn backside, now Aiden Klosterman. Left wing three-pointer, rattles out, no good. And Sarnecki secures the rebound for the Lions. Camus into the front court for Lisbon. Over to Woolham in the right corner, thought about a three, driving in, steps through, lost his footing, he traveled. And we'll go back to Central City. Gadberry's three-pointer after the whistle missed everything. So it would have been Wildcat basketball either way. But the Wildcats do secure it on the traveling violation. Matthew Closerman bringing it up for Central City against this full court press. Finds Aiden Closerman across the timeline to Braden Rickles. Shellhorn in some trouble now. Splits the double team and finds Matthew Closerman. Benton right wing with the basketball. Back to Matthew Closerman. Matthew dribbling to his left. Picks it up over to Rickles at the free throw line. Rickles has it stripped, taken away that time by Cohen Camus, and he will bring it up. Up ahead to Leamer. He lost the basketball but keeps it alive before going out of bounds. Camus left wing, now top of the key. 4.5 to play in the game, 44-32 Wildcats. Camus, high post to Woolham. He turns, goes downhill, stops, tries to throw it up. It's no good, but he gets it back. They're going to say it was not a violation of any sort, so it is good, as Grayson Woolham is in double figures with 10, and the Lions are back within 10, 44-34, 4 minutes to go in the game. Matthew Closerman into the front court, and he's fouled. Cohen Camus called for the foul. That is his second and the team's fifth. Lions do have one more foul to give. Wildcats still with 3 fouls to give. Inbounds pass goes to Matthew Closerman, crossing into the front court. Has it at the top of the key, right at the Central City logo. Now over to Benton, just inside the three-point line at the right elbow. Dumped down to Marcus Shellhorn, short corner. Back to Aiden Closerman. Now Benton right wing. 22 to shoot. Rickles stops, throws it up. That's going to be blocked by Woolham. He gets the rebound and finds Gadberry. Gadberry into the front court for Central City. Backs up, finds Camus for 3. That is no good. Woolham gets the offensive rebound, poked out of bounds. Rickles last touched it, so we'll stay with Lisbon. They reset the shot clock as Jaden Hansen re-enters the game for Central City. Replaces Braden Rickles. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Wildcats lead is 10, 44-34 here in Central City. Camus to inbound for the Lions, does so to Woolham. His layup is good, and the foul. Grayson Woolham with 12 points. Foul was called on Marcus Shellhorn, I believe. That is the case. That is Shellhorn's second, the team's fourth. We've got a timeout on the floor. 3:37 to play in the game, 44-36 our score. Lisbon will have a free throw coming up after the timeout. Coach Turner uses a full 60-second timeout. So the Lions have a full and a 30. The Wildcats with 2 fulls and a 30. For Central City, they've been led by Mekhi Benton. He has 16 points on the night. Matthew Closerman has 14. Aiden Closerman with 9. Braden Rickles with 3. And Marcus Shellhorn with 2. For Lisbon, their leading scorer has been Grayson Woolham. He came off the bench and has 12 points. 11 from Michael Gadberry. 5 from Mason Leamer. And 4 each from Luke Sarnecki and Dalen Schaefer. Looking at the fouls, Grayson Woolham has 3 for Lisbon. Camus and Gadberry both have 2. For the Wildcats, Benton has 3, while Matthew Closerman has 2. Lions back on the floor with their starting group with one exception. It's Camus, Gadberry, Leamer, Sarnecki, and Woolham. Wildcats with the Closermans, Hansen, Benton, and Shellhorn. At the free throw line for the Lions is Grayson Woolham. He is a 51% free throw shooter on the year, trying to complete the traditional three-point play. 44-36, our score, as Woolham puts up the free throw. That is good, nothing but net. And it's back to a 7-point game. Woolham has 13 points to lead the Lions. Wildcats need to get a basket here on this possession. Got to break the press first. They do. Matthew Closerman into the front court. In some trouble. He's double-teamed. Gets it out of there to Aiden Closerman. Aiden gets it over to Benton. Benton gets it over to Shellhorn in the left corner. Now over to Aiden Closerman. Benton has it left elbow. Dumped down to Hansen. Wide open layup. Beautiful find. Great cut by Hansen. That's his first bucket. The Wildcats needed that one. It's 46-37 Central City. 3:10 to play. Woolham goes to work inside. Steps through. Kicks it out. Camus over to Leamer. Top of the key. He's dribbling right for the Lions. Gives it to Gadberry. Crossover dribble. Steps back. Now driving in once again. Beautiful pass over to Camus, but it wasn't there as Woolham drives inside with 15 to shoot. Taken away. Matthew Closerman secures the steal for Central City. Matthew Closerman into the front court for the Wildcats. 2:45 to play. Crossover dribble is nearly poked loose. Now over to Jaden Hansen. Now Aiden Closerman in the left corner. Double team, but gets out of there. Picks it up over to Benton, left elbow. Shellhorn in the left corner. 18 to shoot. Down inside to Benton. Jaden Hansen drives inside. Gets in there, but it's blocked by Woolham. He has to have a half dozen blocks or so here tonight. Now ahead to Camus, who nearly lost his footing. That's a good way to blow an ACL if you're not careful. As Gadberry steps back for a right wing triple, he puts it in. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Gadberry with his first basket since the opening minute of the third quarter. And it's back to a 6-point game, 46-40, 2:13 to play. 30-second timeout was called by Lisbon, I believe. They just have a full remaining, while the Wildcats have 2 fulls and a 30. Wildcats just need to score the basketball here, take care of it. Leading by 6 here, 46-40 is our score once again. Lions back on the floor first. That same group out there, Camus, Gadberry, Leamer, Sarnecki, and Woolham. Wildcats with the Klostermans, Benton, Shellhorn, and Hansen. 2:13 to play, Central City 46, Lisbon 40, as Aiden Klosterman will inbound against this full court press. Inbounds pass goes to Matthew Klosterman. Still a 2-2-1 look on this full court press. Aiden Klosterman down the floor to Hansen. Dump down to Shellhorn. He's open under the rim and he puts it in. Marcus Shellhorn with the layup. He's got 4. We've got some sort of a warning here, as I believe it was against Woolham for trying to hit the backboard and force the basketball out, but now we've got another stoppage. 48-40, under 2 minutes to play in the game. I'm not sure what the issue is here, but they reset the shot clock. That had begun to run after they inbounded the basketball, and they added 4 seconds to the game clock, 2 minutes, 2 seconds to play. So the inbounds pass goes to Gadberry. Wildcats up 48-40 with 2 minutes to play, and the clock's not running. Now it is. As Gadberry drives in, throws it up. It is good, plus a foul. Gadberry with a circus layup. He's got 16, and he will shoot 1. Foul is called on Jaden Hansen. That'll be Hansen's first. Team foul number 5, as Gadberry will shoot a free throw. Gadberry on the year, 71% from the line, best on the team. First one is on the way, and it's good. Shouldn't say first, it's the only one. He's got 17, and it's 48-43, a minute 55 to play. Benton gives it over to Matthew Klosterman against this full court pressure. Matthew over to Aiden Klosterman, up to Benton across the timeline. Benton back to Aiden Klosterman left wing, now over to Benton top of the key. Minute 40 to play as Aiden Klosterman dribbles over to Matthew Klosterman. Makai Benton left wing, 14 to shoot. Hansen driving in, picks it up, swings it over to Matthew Klosterman top of the key. Driving in, 10 to shoot, stops in the paint, throws up a jumper. It is good, and the foul. Matthew Klosterman with a clutch bucket with the contact. He will shoot 1. Foul is called on Michael Gadberry, his third, team 6, and the Lions are also out of fouls to give. The Wildcats will shoot from here on out. Matthew will shoot 1 here, a 72% free throw shooter on the season. Free throw on the way. That's too strong off back iron, but Marcus Shellhorn gets the rebound and gets it out of there to Matthew Klosterman. Wildcats leading 50-43, a minute 20 to go. Aiden fakes the 3 over to Benton. Matthew Klosterman has it now, 25 to shoot. Nearly thrown away, but Hansen was there to save it, and he's fouled. And Jaden Hansen will go to the free throw line, and he's called for a technical. What did he do? What did Jaden do to get the technical? Jaden Hansen called for a technical foul. And Coach Turner needs an explanation. So a foul was called on Grayson Woolham. That was a regular foul, his 4th, but Jaden was called for a technical foul, his 2nd foul. All that I saw happen was Hansen walked past Woolham without helping him up. So unless Hansen said something in the meantime, which I didn't see his mouth moving, but that would be the only thing that could be a technical foul. Woolham extended a hand for Hansen to help him up. Hansen did not help him up. I don't know if he didn't see it or just didn't want to, but regardless, that's not a technical foul, so I sure hope he said something. Otherwise, that was a pretty ridiculous technical foul, if I do say so myself. Again, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know the full context, but nonetheless, Hansen will shoot a 1-and-1, puts up the first and puts it in. He will get 1 more. Hansen with 3 points on the night. It's 51-43 Wildcats. After this, Lisbon will get 2 free throws and the basketball as Hansen can't get the second, goes 1 of 2, and he will be replaced by Braden Rickles. But not quite yet. They will shoot the first free throw first. Coming up for Lisbon, these technical free throws. They will elect to have Michael Gadberry shoot them. Unsurprisingly, he is their best player and best free throw shooter. Again, he is 71% on the season. First one on the way from Gadberry. That one is good. He's got 18 points on the night, a game high, and now he will shoot the second technical free throw. Second one on the way from Gadberry. He goes 2 for 2, gets them both. Give them 19. It's 51-45 Wildcats. Lisbon basketball, though. A minute 15 to play in the game. Wildcats lead it by 6. A minute 15 to go as Cohen Camus inbounds to Michael Gadberry. Full shot clock for the Lions as Gadberry drives in, kicks it out. Camus fakes the 3. Stripped by Matthew Klosterman, dives on the floor and gets the steal. Stolen away by Matthew Klosterman. Now the Lions got to think about fouling, and he is fouled as Cohen Camus commits the foul, his third, team's 8th, as Matthew Klosterman will shoot a 1-and-1. A minute 3 seconds to go, 51-45 Wildcats with Matthew Klosterman at the free throw line. The southpaw point guard is 72% from the line so far this season. And reminder, this is a 1-and-1. Was just the 8th team foul. First one on the way from Matthew, no good, rattles out and rebounded by Woolham. Gadberry into the front court, has it right wing, under a minute to play in the game. Gadberry driving in, guarded by Aiden Klosterman. Nearly stolen, three-pointer on the way from Leamer, that's no good. Braden Rickles with the rebound. He is fouled, and now Braden Rickles will go shoot a 1-and-1. That was the team foul number 9, and Rickles will shoot a 1-and-1. Foul called on Grayson Woolham, that's his 5th. He should be done, and we do get the indication. Grayson Woolham, the sophomore who's had an outstanding ball game, is done with 12 points. And the Wildcats use a timeout. 30-second timeout called. 48 seconds to play. Central City 51 and Lisbon 45. As Dalen Schaefer will re-enter the game, replacing Woolham for the Lions, who again did just foul out. Correct myself, he had 13 points on the night. Really great effort from the 6'5 sophomore. But he does end his night about 45 seconds early. So after this timeout, Braden Rickles will go to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1 for Central City. Rickles has 3 points on the night, 31% from the free throw line on the season. This is the final 1-and-1 from Central City. After this, they will shoot 2 every time, as that would be team foul number 10. This was team foul number 9. Lions back on the floor. Wildcats with the Klostermans, Benton, Shellhorn, and Rickles. 48.5 seconds to go, 51-45 Central City with Braden Rickles shooting a 1-and-1. First one on the way from Rickles. That is no good, and it's rebounded by Schaefer. Up ahead to Gadberry. Has it on the right wing. 45 seconds to play. Gadberry drives in. Throws it away. It's turned over back to Central City, and they will have the basketball. Just got to take care of it. Get it to preferably one of the Klostermans or Benton, and then go to the free throw line, knock them down. They will get out of here with a win, but only if they do those things. Benton to throw it in for Central City. Asking for some help, gets it into Matthew Klosterman. He's double teamed in the backcourt, nearly shoved to the ground. Foul is Lisbon's 10th, so it'll be 2 free throws for Matthew Klosterman. Foul goes against Cohen Camus, and that is his 4th. Cohen Camus picks up his 4th, and Matthew Klosterman, who has 16 points on the night, tied for a team high, will shoot 2 now in the double bonus. Matthew 72.5% from the free throw line on the season. Again, 2 of them coming up here. First one on the way from Matthew. He can't get it to go, rattles out. He will have one more. Wildcats got to make their free throws. They're 0 for 3 in this last stretch of playing the foul game. Only way Lisbon wins this game is if the Wildcats don't make their free throws. Second one on the way for Matthew Klosterman. He gets that one to go. Goes 1 of 2. Give him a team high 17. It's 52-45 Wildcats, 38 seconds to play. Gadberry nearly had it taken away. Schaefer pulls up for a left wing triple. That's off the mark. Matthew Klosterman rebounds. Picks it up, and he's fouled by Leamer of the Lions. That'll be Mason Leamer's first. Team is already in the double bonus. Shot clock is off as Matthew Klosterman will go back to the free throw line. Wildcats leading 52-45, 29 seconds away from reaching the district championship. Again, Matthews shooting 2 here with the Wildcats leading 52-45. First one on the way from Matthew. That is perfect. Nothing but net. Give him 18 on the night as Dayton Price is back into the game. He replaces Braden Rickles, who comes out with 29 seconds to play. Second free throw from Matthew Klosterman upcoming. And that second free throw is good. Perfect on that one as well. He's got 19 on the night. 54-45. Wildcats by 9 with 28 seconds to go. We got a timeout on the floor. Lions use their final full timeout. That is their final timeout of the game, in fact. 27 seconds to play. It is Wildcats 54, Lions 45. Wildcats leading by 9. Less than 30 seconds away from moving on to play Wapsie Valley in the district championship this coming Tuesday night. Taking a look at the scoring numbers for Central City. Matthew Klosterman has 19, Mackay Benton with 16, Aiden Klosterman 9, Jaden Hansen and Braden Rickles 3, Marcus Shellhorn 4. Cannot stress enough how impressive it is for this Wildcat team to be 30 seconds away from the district championship after winning 1 game 2 years ago, winning about 5 games last year. They haven't won a postseason game since 2020 coming into this year. And now they're less than 30 seconds away from reaching the district title game. Wildcats with the Klostermans, Price, Benton, and Shellhorn. Got some big kids in there to rebound and miss. The Lions going with Camus, Gadberry, Sarnecki, Lemur, and Schaefer. Lemur will throw it in for Lisbon. Shot clock is off, 27 seconds to go in the game. Inbounds pass goes to Gadberry, over to Camus on the left wing. Back to Gadberry. He will take a right wing triple. That is off the mark, misses everything. And it goes back to Central City. 20 seconds to play. Wildcats leading 54-45. Lions are pressing here. The Wildcats lead by 9. Benton to inbound. Does so to Matthew Klosterman, and he's bumped in midair. And he will shoot 2 more. Foul called on Michael Gadberry. That is his 4th. And again, the team is already in the double bonus. I believe that is team foul number 12. But once you reach 10, they stop counting them on the scoreboard. Matthew Klosterman, the chance to extend to his game-high total of 19 points, as he will get 2 free throws here. First one on the way from Matthew. That is good. Give him 20 points on the night. Game high for the sophomore point guard as he will shoot 1 more. Wildcats by 10, 20 seconds to play. Second free throw on the way from Matthew Klosterman. That one's good as well. He's got 21 for the game, and it's 56-45 Wildcats. Gadberry down the floor. Throws a layup, and it's no good. But he is fouled, and he will shoot 2. Wildcats' 6th foul as a team. It is called on Matthew Klosterman. That is his 3rd. And Michael Gadberry to shoot 2 free throws. Again, 56-45, or actually it is a 1-and-1. That is team foul number 7. They must have ruled that to be a non-shooting foul, so this is a 1-and-1. First one on the way from Gadberry is good. Everyone kind of looked like they didn't know what to do, so I'm glad he made it, honestly, because I don't think anybody realized it was a 1-and-1. Cohen Camus gets a nice round of applause, checking out for the final time as a senior with this Lions team. He is replaced by Tyler Saucer, and now Luke Sarnecki gets a big hand from the crowd. He is replaced by Kinnick Mettinger, making his first appearance of the game, the 6-foot junior, averaging 1 point. Only 2 seniors in the starting group, certainly plenty coming back for Lisbon next year, as Gadberry makes the second. He's got 21. Inbounds pass goes to Matthew Klosterman. They are going to opt to continue fouling. We'll see how long we play this game, but we're going to go shoot some free throws here. Student section is informing us that we have won a bit prematurely, as Matthew Klosterman will shoot a pair of free throws. Foul was called on Dalen Schaefer, his 2nd. Team well into the double bonus, as Matthew will shoot 2 more. Waiting on something here. There's going to be some subs coming up shortly, but for now, Matthew will shoot the first free throw. Lions are calling off the dogs here, as the first one for Matthew Klosterman is good off front of the rim, back iron and through. He's got 22, as David Munyakazi makes his first appearance of the game for Central City. And for the Lions, they will empty the bench. Got Alex Bach into the game for the first time. He is a senior. Also Caden Santis in there, as well as Brendan Geyer, another senior, making his first appearance of the game. Joined by Brayton, as the second free throw for Matthew Klosterman is good. Matthew's got 23 to lead all scorers. Inbounds pass goes to Mettinger into the front court. Swings it over to Geyer on the left wing. He's driving to the hoop. Pulls up for a jumper. Too strong off the backboard. Gets his own rebound. Free throw line jumper on the way. That is good, as the Lisbon crowd certainly like to see that. He gets the jumper to go, and that will do it. The Wildcats have a great second half. They will be moving on to the district championship game on Tuesday. Our final score, Central City 58, Lisbon 49. Wildcats stay alive and they are moving on. They will play again on Tuesday for the district championship. Give me one moment here and I'll have the final numbers from tonight's ball game as Central City advances to the district championship, which will be played on Tuesday. Again, our final score, 58-49. Wildcats come out very sharp in the second half and win the ball game by 9 points in the end. So again, 58-49, our final. Wildcats win it over the Lions. And here's a look at the final scoring numbers from tonight's game. First for the Lions, they were led by Michael Gadberry. He had 21. 13 from Grayson Woolham, 5 from Mason Leamer, 4 each from Luke Sarnecki and Dalen Schaefer, and 2 points from Brendan Geyer. For Central City, Matthew Klosterman finished with 23 points to lead all scorers. Makai Benton added 16, and he had that huge 4-point play that changed the momentum for good. Wildcats rolled from there. Aiden Klosterman finished with 9 points. Braden Rickles had 3. Jaden Hansen also had 3, and Marcus Shellhorn in his first game back finished with 4 points. So we got our final, Central City 58, Lisbon 49. Wildcats move on to Tuesday. Well, they will play at Starmont, taking on District 6's top seed, Wapsie Valley. I plan to be there in Arlington. I will have the call. Certainly looking forward to calling some district championship basketball, trying to move a step away from the state tournament in Des Moines. So one more time, our final score, 58-49. Wildcats win it over the Lions. This is my final time announcing in this Central City gym, as odd as that is to say, but it certainly helps take the sting off of things when you know there is some more Wildcat basketball to be called. I will be in Arlington once again on Tuesday, 7 o'clock tip, 6:45 pregame here on the Wildcat Sports YouTube channel. So be sure to tune in if you can't make it out to Arlington. I cannot wait for some more Wildcat basketball fighting for a district championship. So that is going to do it for tonight. Wildcats move on. They win at 58-49. Got a comment from Allie McLaughlin. Awesome, go Cats. Thanks so much for listening, Allie, and certainly excited for the Wildcats moving on to this district championship game. So until we speak again this coming Tuesday, I'm David Warrington saying good night and go Cats.